Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today. As guys, over the past couple days, I've been in Arizona at Coach JV's Freedom Conference 2022. And I personally have to say that it was an amazing experience. Nothing but high vibrational energy and extremely inspiring stories. I made a presentation on crypto, real estate, Airbnb, and numerous other things involving character building. And I genuinely appreciated everyone's heartfelt reactions. Now, with that being said, guys, let's take our attention back to the crypto market. We see that Bitcoin's right below $40,000. And I've been hearing a lot of whispers recently. These whispers have been along the lines of, bull, there is no altcoin season. Everything's gonna crash. This is a bear market. Something along those lines. And while I can admit, prices have been going down steadily over the past month or so, this is an extremely powerful moment right before some of our favorite altcoins take off. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been trading sideways for a while. But what typically happens is, when we trade sideways for too long, we need to see a move to the upside or downside, as that's going to be an indication for what the future is going to hold. Had we been going up a little bit gradually right now, I would have turned more bearish on the crypto market. However, looking at XRP plummet below 70 cents, looking at something like Stellar go beneath 20 cents, and especially looking at something like Algo tank to 70 cents, I'm extremely bullish on what the next couple weeks have in store for us. You see, guys, a lot of people are uncertain about what's going to happen next. But BitBoy Crypto actually had an incredible quote. He stated, if you look at crypto YouTubers or influencers right now, almost all of them have less views than we had 6 to 12 months ago. And the reason is, despite the fact that we stress now are the times where you get rich and make money, people always come when the good times are around, and then they always leave when things look bleak. You have to buy when there's blood on the streets, even if it's your own. You have to educate yourself while we trade sideways and go down in value. We have to continue to grow and learn when no one else is willing to. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how I've become successful in crypto. I never take a step back. I always look at what's going to happen next. And it's that consistency, that perseverance, that gives great results. I know you're frustrated, but today I executed monster buys on things like XRP, Stellar, Algo, and a couple other tokens. I hope you guys consider doing the same. First, some brief reassurance from Credible Crypto as what the future of Bitcoin's price is going to hold. Credible Crypto stated mid-cycle corrections are designed to shake you out, and they are quite effective. Just ask the guys who sold Bitcoin under $10,000 during the March 2020 capitulation event before Bitcoin ran 1,500%. You need patience, my friends. XRP having the news about the case ending in about a year. That was horrendous news. That probably broke down a lot of XRP investors. A lot of people probably got tired and sold their XRP for some low cap shitcoins. But you see, guys, that is what it's designed to do. And only the strong will persevere. Now, ladies and gentlemen, on to the title of this video for today, as we're going to be diving deep as to how far these Ripple connections go to the highest level of global elites. George Soros just invested in PolySign. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the announcement from PolySign. Today, PolySign announced the acquisition of MG Stover Co., creating the world's largest vertically integrated full-service digital asset fund administrator, and our Series C round of funding led by Cohen Inc., Soros Fund Management, Brevin Howard, and GSR.io. Now, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of you may be wondering what exactly PolySign is. With Ripple Labs, PolySign was also created by Arthur Brito and David Schwartz. They have been very under the radar, but essentially they're aiming to be a crypto custodian. Now keep that in mind. Why would George Soros' company be looking to invest in PolySign? George Soros also met with Gary Gensler recently. That's a very important detail considering he's the head of the SEC and this case is going on as we speak. Now guys, before we continue, this is a very important fact from Esoteric XRP. Who were the key developers of XRPL and Interledger Protocol? Schwartz, Brito, and Stephen Thomas. Who were the key developers of PolySign? Schwartz and Arthur Brito. Who is the key developer of Codius? Stephen Thomas. Ladies and gentlemen, the plan is XRP, PolySign, and Codius. That is going to take over a multi-trillion-dollar market and even potentially tap into the quadrillion-dollar derivatives market. There are a lot of outlandish XRP price predictions often put out there by people that may not necessarily know why these exist. There are real ways how XRP could reach astronomical values. And while I do recommend we have to stay grounded, especially now, before regulations, the future, in my opinion, for XRP is oh so bright. The potential is quite literally all the money and value. And I think we have a real chance of achieving it at some point down the road. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me take you over here to Twitter very quickly, to Smiles. This was a powerful sequence of connections, and while this is just a speculative theory at the moment, I have a couple things to present to all of you that may make a lot of sense. There is now a possibility that Christine Lagarde could be the next Prime Minister of France. And now let's dive deep. Here, French MP Castex announces government resignation if Macron is elected. That's 1. 2. Macron has eyes on Christine Lagarde as Prime Minister, and this was February 14, 2022. And here, Lagarde congratulated Macron on his re-election as President of France. Now, ladies and gentlemen, why do I bring up that potential with Christine Lagarde? It's because the Central Bank of France has quoted in documents before in the past dug up by King Solomon that they eye XRP for the basis of the digital euro. This was a quote from a document by the Bank of France. Now we have to understand that Christine Lagarde is currently the head of the European Central Bank, and she was formerly the head of the IMF, who had met with Ripple numerous times for numerous meetings, and I believe that she laid the DLTE SDR infrastructure at her time there at the IMF, and now she's working behind the scenes yet again, in my opinion, to continue to help with the rollout of XRP adoption. Now, we have to know a couple things here. First, in July, the SDR revaluation is going to happen July 31st, I believe. That is going to be a massive event that I believe helps signal what the future of money is going to be. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to power through this thread. But before I continue, I have to remind all of you that Ripple and XRP have been mentioned inside of World Economic Forum documents, specifically XRP being the crypto digital asset best suited for central bank digital currency adoption. That cannot be understated as we understand where this is all going. Now, here Ter de Meester has stated he's followed the IMF for 15 years, and this is the most impressed they've been by any of their events. Rare truths were shared on a panel in front of Christine Lagarde and Jerome Powell. And here, the truth teller in question is Georgieva, the new managing director. She grew up and obtained her PhD in Bulgaria and did research at London School of Economics and MIT. She's authored numerous papers and was at the World Bank. Georgieva shares some hard facts, which is quite rare in itself for spokespeople from IMF's institutions. She talks about the exploding government debt levels, largest increase since World War II, and how the current spiking interest rates are putting many countries in a pinch.
First one is the issue of debt. In 2020, debt levels have jumped for an understandable reason to put a floor under the economy. Largest increase since the Second World War in 1 year. In 21, it was easy because interest rates were low, access to financing abundant. For some, it was cheaper to pay for more debt in 21 because of this drop in interest rates. 22, different.
Then she goes on to clarify that we're basically looking at sovereign bond defaults. Many governments are staring in the face of bankruptcy, and investors will have to accept a haircut on their government bond portfolios. This is what she means with restructuring debt.
We have to help countries restructure debt early. And if we don't, down the road this year, we may be in a very difficult place. You talked about the 50 basic points. Just imagine what it means for emerging economies if on top of it their currency depreciates, which is also possible, and capital starts seeking the comfort of coming here to the United States.
After discussing some exogenous shocks like this health crisis and the current invasion of Ukraine, Georgieva points out how governments have failed to pay down debt when they could afford it. Oh, this is gonna get interesting real fast, guys. But now before I show you the last and most important clip, I think it's relevant to know that Georgieva likely had family that lived through Bulgaria's hyperinflation in '96. I suspect this experience informed what she said on this panel.
We're tight on time. We have 1 minute left, but I do want to hear really quickly from everyone, including you, Prime Minister Motley. I sometimes get the best answers as a journalist when I ask people what we're not paying attention to, what the media or the world is not focused on. So I'll ask you just very quickly, either an upside risk or a downside risk as it relates to the global economy, what we're not paying close enough attention to, and what you would flag.
I think we are not paying sufficient attention to the law of unintended consequences. We take decisions with an objective in mind and rarely think through what may happen that is not our objective. And then we wrestle with the impact of it. Take any decision that is a massive decision, like the decision that we need to spend to support the economy. And at that time, we did recognize that may lead to too much money in circulation, too few goods, but didn't really quite think through the consequence in a way that upfront would have informed better what we do. And I subscribe entirely to what Christine said about climate shocks. We are already out of time. And the fact that whenever something hits us, we forget about this other crisis is incredibly troubling. The fact that we are, I'm sorry I'm going on here, but I'll finish in a second. We act sometimes like 8 years old playing soccer. Here is the ball, we are all at the ball, and we don't cover the rest of the field. our ability to deal with more than one crisis at one time is very, very limited.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's important to note. In this conversation, Georgieva discussed the unintended consequences of inflation. It was very real about it. Lagarde, we understand her connections and her hands at play with everything regarding XRP. And Jerome Powell talking about raising interest rates aggressively to combat inflation. This is all extremely important. We're on the precipice of a new age. We understand Ripple's ties to the World Economic Forum. We understand George Soros invested in PolySign. We know that the Rothschilds as well have exposure to Ripple. And oh guys, you better believe the elites, the 0.1% of people that govern the world and control all the money, are balls deep into this specific asset. Ladies and gentlemen, Crypto Mason said it best about a year ago. Invest in one of these stupid Illuminati coins, sit back and get rich. And that's exactly what we're doing. The elites are extremely organized. They have their shit together. And their vision, their plan is being executed as we speak. However, we, the people, the retail investors, the XRP army, we have a small window in time between the cashless society and central bank digital currency full-blown adoption to get extremely rich from their asset class, their assets and what they want, and to wake as many people up as possible. We have this small window and small opportunity, and we need to take advantage of it. But one thing I need to tell all of you is, they will not shake us out. The XRP army, we've been through this health crisis. We've been through inflation. We've been through the Russian-Ukraine invasion. We've been through the March 2020 market crash. And we still have these cyber attacks and food shortages to deal with. Oh, you better believe they're coming. They've been warning us for a while. We've dealt with Maxis. We've dealt with the SEC. We've dealt with a 4-year bear market. Nothing is going to shake us. We are the new 1%. We've been through hell and back. And we're reaching that climax of a moment when all those that doubted are going to understand why they should have listened. Make no mistake about it, my friends. We've always been correct. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. Now I'll be back tomorrow with another video.